How about now? That work? Is that? Can you? Oh, there we go. Okay. Um. All right. Well, I gotta go through the whole thing again. So last night I did all this, and my biggest fear was that one right here was messed up enough to where I had the same note here and here buzzing. Couldn't get rid of it. I called him up. Actually, the whole guitar needs a fret job, but he didn't want to do that. And so I said, well, I have, you know, I can put one fret in it. They were the same width, but it's a lot higher. So what I have to do is, look, this is after I've been working on it. So I'm using the Music Nomad U file, and what it does, it's got enough area where it rides on the other frets and only takes out the one you want. Unfortunately, you can't buy just one of these. You have to buy the three-piece set. It's like $80. You get, for like just a single area, or the longer, wider frets. Then there's a one in between, and it's got markers or arrows where it shows you where the the diamond uh, grit is there, so you don't go over. So what I have to do basically is take the new fret I had, which is the right width, but it was higher, and I got to take it all down now to make it work. And I thought, you know what, that's something you don't see all the time, so why not just go live with it? There's Ava barking at somebody. So, it's going to be a while, because I got quite a bit to do here. And once I get it down enough, then I can shape it with the Music Nomad S file. So, hey, Mr. Mick. So that's where I'm on that. I can actually do this. Put this down where it needs to be. So I'm trying to get it to where it's useful. And obviously you want to protect the fretboard and whatever frets you don't want to mess with there. But I haven't replaced just one fret on a guitar for over a year, and then we weren't doing the workbench shows at that time. So I mean, it's a lot easier if you have the exact fret you need. Obviously, I don't. Oh, that's a foo bar. It's pretty close. So we're just going to have to grind away here until I get it to the right height. Then I can reshape it. Steve! It's nice, I am honored that you guys have notifications, so when I do go live, you get it. I thank you so much for that. This is non-directional, so you can do it however you want to do it. So it's a bonus chat and bench. Oh, there we go. Steve, there's a set. This is the Music Nomad U file, and it comes in a set of 3. And they're designed to actually go under the string, so you can work just like you just have one little high spot or whatever. And they're diamond impregnated, and they got markers on them to show you where the actual diamond is, so you don't mess up the area. And unfortunately, you can't buy just one, because I just wanted to buy this single one, the small one, and you had to buy the whole set. The set's like $80, but well worth it, especially in a situation like this. So I can do it any which way, this way, it don't matter. And all I'm trying to do right now is just trying to get this down level with these two, which, believe it or not, even though it rocks a lot, when I first started it was like big time. And that's why I thought I might as well go live and show this, because I don't do this every week. As a matter of fact, it's been a little over a year since I did just one fret. So you protect these frets, tape, and obviously, and just guide with them to keep the arch, the fretboard radius going. And once I get it down to the correct level, then I'll just recrown it and go from there. I use this. You can use this for under strings, but you got so much area that you're covering, you'll mess up other frets. And then I have this for StewMac too. It's the Z file, the short version. But believe it or not, as much as I hate to admit it, this Music Nomad S file is quicker, easier, and does a better job than the Z file. So, and I'm not getting any. This is a customer's guitar, not one that getting donated. And there's no money involved in this. Instead, I'm getting a Kramer Beretta for doing this work. So. So again, I had the fret that was the right width, just too high, so I'm going to make it work. Well, it's again, some people's like, I don't know if I trust that guy working on it. A lot better. We're not. So let's do it this way for a little bit. Get bouncing. Best thing to do is ask people around you that play. Say, hey, who do you guys trust? Who should I go to? Whatever. Now, I have people from the chat send me guitars to work on, across country. But, not a lot because of the shipping. But again, like I said last night, if you use Pirate Ship, much better. Getting there. If you use pirateship.com, which I am not affiliated with in any which way, shape, or form, you save yourself a bunch of money. Oh, I didn't say special. Sorry. Yeah, it's a Beretta Special. The blue one. Blue metallic. It's, as far as I know, it's still all stock. Just, I think he had a couple decals on it. Well, and Steve, I understand it. That's how I am too. I was, even in school, high school, college, I learned better by showing me instead of telling me. But like I said, this isn't something I do every day on this show or Johnny's. So I thought, you know what, it might be a good reason to go live a little bit right here. And I'd already took the old fret out, and then doing that to save on the fretboard, so you don't tear the fretboard up. I use these if I can get them out of here. I got 10 thousandths and 20 thousandths. So what they do is you get them, just pull the corner edge out. Why is that doing that? Just pull the end out, and then you can slide this under, and you grip it, and it helps from tearing up the fretboard. I got 10 and 20 thousandths here. So I told him, I said, the 6 o'clock deadline to get this tonight may not happen because of this. He's like, that's fine. He's got a 12 string to play. So it's it'd been a lot easier and quicker had I had the right height fret, but I didn't. So we're making it work. Cool. Still a ways to go, but fortunately this isn't stainless steel or cryogenic treated fret material. Well, Steve, when you do that, send pictures to Johnny's phone or to my email there. I like to see what everybody's working on and how it turns out. See if I have Mad Hatter. Had to swap a fret out on this. And the reason I'm showing it here on the show is because I didn't have the actual right fret. I had one that was wide enough, but it was way too high. So I basically have to make it work. I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and show that because I don't show that very often. So yeah, you can make that's the angle I need there. Okay, now just need to take this down some more. So, yeah, this I was planning on having this done, and I had to run up to the store and get strings for it. One thing about doing working on frets is it's tedious. You can't rush it, and it gets, we're getting close, it gets boring. Yeah, where's the old fret? It's the one that had all the dents in it, and I took it down as far as I could. When I got it all done and strung up, same note, and buzzed like crazy on the high E right there. It was just because of those dents. So I thought, well, I'll try it, see if I can crown it, get it. Nothing worked, because I was trying to avoid doing this because I knew I didn't have the exact fret. I even thought about the solder fill, but no. My luck, that would work. Then he'd go do a show, and all of a sudden, the solder would fall out or something. So I thought, well, I'll put the fret in. I have it's the right width. I'll just have to make it the right height, which I knew would include a bunch of this filing. Greasy. Man, I love the fact that you guys got the notification set much better. We're getting there. It's just going to take a while. Actually, for that, screen keeps going black. It's nickel. It's not stainless, and it's not what do they call it? Cryogenics. You can buy those frets where they take the frets and actually freeze them, and they're supposed to last longer. They're supposed to be better than stainless. I've never tried them. You can buy them from StewMac. Cryo treated. I have yet to try them. These are just regular. So it's getting there. Taking a while, but I'll go back to this. It's getting there. So like I said, this fret was the right width. or it might be just a tad wider, but as long as it plays. But it was just it was, you know, way higher. So I gotta make it work. Yeah, you can get the. I haven't tried them yet. I heard they're better than stainless. I don't know. I know stainless. I will say this: if you're working on, if you're redoing stainless frets, you want to buy the best tools you can possibly get. Because if you buy the cheaper Amazon stuff that would last for a while on the regular frets, stainless will destroy them in no time. Dane in here? Dane, if you're in here, man, thanks for coming in. What I'm doing here, this fret was shot. Couldn't do anything to fix it. I mean, literally nothing. And so I had to replace the fret. Didn't have the exact right fret, so I'm making it work. I'm actually filing it down so I can get it to fit or the right size. Cool. Dane, I was telling everybody last night that I would love, what do they call it, the workcation instead of vacation. I'd love to spend a week at your shop just working on guitars for you or with you. Either way, it don't matter. I would love to do that. We're getting there. I'd been working on this for probably 30 or 40 minutes before I even went live. Like I said, I didn't even think about it. I thought, well, this isn't something that you see every day. So why not just go live and content for the show and gives people something to see that they don't see all the time. And Dane, you and Rich, your two guitars are the first two getting painted as soon as I'm able to do it, as soon as the weather permits. It's kind of hard to do when it's been wind chill negative 20 for about the last month. And also, Dane, you see these? I make these. I am sending you, Dane, this one. I'm sending this to you this week. Or, well, be next week. No, maybe tomorrow. So I got to send Mad Hatter's thing out, too. Right now, it's 38 today. I figured, you're welcome, Dane. I figured your wood and leather one needs to be retired. And this, you can adjust the tension swings, padded there. You can put, you know, I actually come up with another one too. It's got like a little work tray right here. I'll probably end up sending you one of those also. But I mean, you know, set it on there. It works fine. This is the one you're getting, the black and green one. Yeah, it was like 18 or 19 days here that it wasn't even above 25 degrees in a row. How far are we now? Getting there. It was rocking like crazy at first. So I just figured go live with this. And his main concern with this is it's playable. That's all he's worried about. Playable. Dane, I know Billy gave you these. The fret polishers, and man, you just put the paper in it and ends up like a mirror. I make different sizes. I got, if you look on it, you'll see medium, wide, extra wide, narrow. They fit the fret. No, well, I know you're not doing the polish thing anymore, but like, you know, the Dremel tool, polish and all that stuff everywhere. You don't have to put the fret or the fretboard protector down. So I make all kind of stuff. If I can make it on my 3D printer instead of buying it, then that, I mean, I got all kinds. There's these I made string height gauge. Knob puller. Let's see. Oh, if you want to hang your straps, you mount that to a wall, hang your straps on them. I mean, I've made pickup covers, all kind of stuff. You name it. I mean, it's like it's the 3D printing thing is freaking amazing. There we go, the screen going again. Sure it's not clogged up, Steve? If you use it a lot, that little notch in there that it catches on could get clogged up. And then it would act like it's not there. Basically fills in. Yeah, I was praying I didn't have to do this to this guitar, but oh well. Yeah, there's so much stuff I've made on that printer, Dane. It's unbelievable. Well, I got some stuff in here. These, you clamp this, just screw this to the wall, and then you can take, like you unplug, or not the wall, but like workbench. I had a bunch of guys wanted these. They were going to screw them to their amps, so when they just unplug their guitar, just fits right in there. Or I made it a different type. They wanted like that. But I've made so much. I'll show you. I just buried this thing in here yesterday. The black ones I made on the printer. Here's 9-volt battery holders if you have to convert a guitar to active pickups, or you want to put a LED kill switch in it. These are shims, but these are like for a Kramer Baretta if you want to put a locking nut on it and you don't have the space to route it out. I made these string trees and Allen wrench holders. Shims, different width shims. I mean, there's all kind of stuff. I made, you name it. I'll leave this out for right now. I'll have to unbury this. I've made, oh, Dane, here's something I want to get to you too. Matter of fact, I'll probably just send you this one. I get these at Harbor Freight. Okay. I cut the pointed ends off the probes, and I solder in a jack, plug it into the guitar, and you can see the readout of every pickup. Plus, it also troubleshoots. Then I 3D print the case for the holder, sit it on the table, and then I'll drill that out so that fits in there a little bit tighter. But let me show you. Let me find. I'm going to do this very carefully. Set a rag on here. Set this on there. On the rag. Okay. So, I'll lay it down so you can see it. Here's how this works. So it's nice. I was sitting here one day and I thought, man, there's got to be an easier way to test this stuff. So, okay, we're down to 0. I'm up here on, by the way, this is the Dimebucker bridge in neck and the Seymour Duncan slug in the back. So we're at 0. So I got the Dimebucker in there. Here's the output of it. 16.5. Again, that's more than double what most neck pickups are. Go in between the two, that usually drops you down anywhere from 4 to 6. We're at 12.1. Now I go to the back. Everybody says, oh, 20 ohm is hot. How's this? 44.1. Slug is a monster. But if you have a 3-way switch or 5-way switch, you know, you can go through there and it'll tell you where actually on the switch that it's not working and what's not wired right. So At 44.1, 12.1, and 16.4 or 5 for the neck. So the reason, actually, Johnny came up with that idea, I didn't even think about it. When I put this in, he's like, when you switch to the neck pickup, it's going to be like you shut the volume off. And I start thinking about it. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I went with that one. And I didn't reverse it, so both the north is both up on both of them. And it has such a unique sound to this. So I will include this, Dane, with this and ship these to you. Hi, Peggy. Again, man, thank you to everybody for coming in here. I love the fact that you guys got notifications letting you know when I go live. Let's see how far I'm off here. Ooh, a lot better. When I started, this thing was like that. Actually, I could probably shape it a little bit now. Cool. Yeah, this is yeah, that's a lot better. Be good, Steve. Send me those photos, either me or text them to Johnny's number or send them to my email. But thank you, everybody, for any questions and/or comments in the chat. Yeah, Mad. Well, you heard it. You heard it on that song last night. I think you did, or no, maybe you didn't. You left, didn't you? It's on my song. It's what I use for the One Night Eternal. Let me go with this. Oh, okay. This side. Yeah, it has such a unique sound that way. That even because I had it that way once, and I took that pickup out, and it was like the mojo went away. So I put it back in, hoping that it would come back, and it did. A lot closer. Well, it's weird. I never used to. I always liked the Floyd Rose and the one pickup guitars. But then again, in the '80s when the band started, that's what I was playing. And that's what I was playing when we got signed. My real ESP M1 Custom. It was like this color yellow. Had a single Seymour Duncan in it that was made by MJ that matched the guitar in yellow. And I took the original ESP tremolo off and put a Floyd on it. And it had a 9-volt battery. It had a little switch. It boosted like 15 decibels. Yep, one volume knob, one pickup, one full floating tremolo. On an '87 ESP M1 Custom that I wish to God I still had. I know they make the LTD versions of it now. My nephew bought one. Thanks, Dane. Be good. Make some sales. Hey, like you say, let's just do it this way. Sell a guitar. Or two. Dane is freaking awesome. He's from Ohio, so. My screen would quit going black. Sounds like it's going waka waka waka. always working on new songs. I actually have, I haven't done it. Well, I'll tell you here in a second. Let me do a count. Where's my? Because after I even bits and pieces of them when I work on them, I put them on BandLab, so they're saved in my file. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 73 on here total. Here's one. Where's it? This I never did anything with it, and it freaks. They can never figure out how I did it, and I actually did it. I never did anything with it. It was just an idea. That's not a bass. That's a 6-string guitar. I never played that for Johnny. Johnny probably liked that one better than any of them. I call it Just Poppin'. I know it's original, right? Then there's Jack. Leave that on there while I do this.
Shadows of old white shadows.
you go. Let me read this. Mad Hatter, how should I go about trimming the sides of the checkered pickguard fitted for a humbucker in the neck position to fit the neck pocket for the T's? How much do you have to trim off? Oh, wait a minute. You know, more people are liking my One Night Eternal song than anything. Now that they got used to it. It's like they're like, oh, I really like that one. Hold on. Hold on. Maybe I can do this.
Connected to Ron's cell phone. Ron's laptop 202.
There you go. Oh, that didn't work. No, you can hear it. Hold on. Yeah, everybody's liking this one. Say his voice sounds the best, everything. And that's the White Warrior. So there you go. There's that. Now let's go back so I can see what everybody's saying. If it's that small, bad, you could just use a good file. Now this is where this shines because the diamond cutter is right there in the center and it's even notched so it kind of warns you. And then it's marked here so you know, but it's long enough to go between those two. So what it's going to do, it's riding on these two and then it'll make it the exact height of these two. And again, it's not uniform to which way you got to use it, so. Thank you, MPN. Like I said, well, I mean, I know Johnny always talks about he writes every day, so do I. It's, you know, with everything set up in there now the way it is, you can ask my wife. I'm down here more than I'm upstairs. And I'll be sitting there playing guitar and not even trying to write something. And then I'll play a riff and I'll be like, oh, I like that. And I just hurry up, open Cakewalk. It's one click. And then I click on, 4-track or 16-track, whatever. I usually just do 4 real quick because it opens quick. I'll hit record the idea. And I was putting numbers on them. Then I just start putting names and whatever. And then I'll save it. And I'll also send it to the phone on BandLab. And then it might be, 2 weeks to 2 years later before I come back to it. But almost every, well, you saw there's 73, 74 there on there. So I'm always coming up with something. And when I write the words, I usually write about stuff I know, or stuff I did or happened to me, or stuff I studied on, like the serial killers. Obviously, all that happened before my time, but it just always fascinated me how that could work and how people can do it and get away with it. So that's why I decided to do the song. I did 4. I did Jack the Ripper first, and then H.H. Holmes, The Devil's Blueprint. Then I did Lizzie Borden, and then the 4th one was Ed Gein. And my buddy's like, well, you got to do one on Albert Fish. And I was like, Albert Fish? So I watched a few things on him, and there ain't no way I'll ever do any type of song. But that guy was sick beyond belief. I would never put words to him or a song to him. Let's see, hey Ron, do you take budget tuners and inexpensive stuff taken out of guitars? Yeah. I sure do. Like I said, I take pretty much anything because I never know what I'm going to be working on. So, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, if you want to donate parts, you got to donate this, this, or this. No, whatever you got, because I never know. If I don't have a set of better tuners to put on a guitar from somebody, and they just need one or two, and it's a cheap tuner, then I usually have a couple. Okay, Peggy, if you're still here, can you put what happens is for some reason people mess up my address. So if Peggy's still here, if she would type it in there so you can just copy it and that'll work. I got an email from RJ last night. He's going to send some stuff. I appreciate that, guys. Believe me, I appreciate that. Uh-oh, we're there. We're there on the edge. Not in the middle. Okay, so I got to do the middle and this side more. Yeah, I thought about that, Billy, but they're made up. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, Matt, I got invited to join the Guitar Mafia. So I'm going through, okay, we're there. Almost. Yeah, if you guys don't know who Albert Fish is, look him up on YouTube. That guy was. There's no way I would ever write a song about him or put music to anything about him. And I've had people say, "Oh, are you celebrating H.H. Holmes?" No, it's just a piece of history. Like Lizzie Borden. I personally don't think she did it. I think her Uncle John did it because the damage inflicted to her father had to be someone a heck of a lot more powerful than she was. And her Uncle John was there and then showed up later. I think he's the one that actually did it, which was her real mother's brother. Because her dad gave his stepwife's family a house and all kind of stuff. So it's just something interesting, and that's why I did a song about it. And Ed Gein, I'm not celebrating Ed or what he did. It's just a history thing, that basically. And what, make sure that doesn't happen anymore. Because here's the thing with Ed. He wasn't born that monster. His mother actually created him. 37 or 39 years of that. And he did not grow up. I mean, yes, he did the actions, but he did not grow up with any social skills, anything, because his mother, and then when she died, he was just thrown out into the world. And what did he do? He tried to bring his mother back. So yes, he committed the crimes and should have been punished for them, but he wasn't born that way. His mother created him. And anytime you can help you can recognize that and save a child who's getting um, abused. I mean, that was a form of abuse she was doing. So that's kind of what the songs, just to bring it out in light a little bit. So none of those songs are celebrating anything. They're not saying glad that whoever it was did it. That's not the case. It's just something I found interesting. And one day I sat down. What happened is, with the one on H.H. Holmes, Devil's Blueprint, I was sitting here one day and the chorus just came to my head. And I wrote the chorus down. I was like, wow. And then, months later, you end up writing the rest of it. But with Ed and Lizzie, I kind of went, well, even with all four of them, I went with known facts. I don't know, maybe it's a warning to people about the Ed Gein one, about a kid. But I will never, after I watched that on Albert Fish, there's no way you couldn't hold a gun to my head and have me do a song about that guy. So I dare you guys to look Albert Fish up on YouTube and watch what he did. I'm going to say he was born a freaking monster. I'm actually going to say that. Yeah, but I've had a couple people who heard the songs during this Fretworks thing, who don't participate in the chat. But sent me an email saying I was stupid and sick for writing those songs. I'm like, okay. Because I'm promoting it. I'm like, no, I'm not. Good there. Good there. So it's still just that hump in the middle. But yeah, it's different people, different views. So, but usually I only write, either love, heartbreak, being on the road, missing the first part of my son's life. I'd write a song about being on Johnny's show. That would be interesting. Well, see, the thing is, Matt, the StreamYard tells me how many people's actually watching, and most of them don't participate in the chat, so you don't know who's watching. The only people we can tell you who's here is in the chat with what you guys do. So close. And again, man, thank you everybody who has notifications on my channel. And I'm not going to sit here and say, I look at it this way. YouTube has been around long enough, and you guys all know how it works. So I'm not going to get on here and say, hey, subscribe if you like, or thumbs up, or share, or whatever. And no, I'm not making fun of Johnny. It's a lot of channels do that. But I'm not. I'm just saying, you know what? Here's the show. You know what to do if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. If you do, that's fine. Because I'm not. You know, this isn't. Johnny, I understand. It's his job. I understand that completely. Oh, come on. Right there. Like right here. Yeah, and I, actually, it takes courage. I'm actually proud of Johnny for what he does. Because I mean, if before, if I had to quit the dye making and all that stuff and said, hey, honey, I'm just gonna, my job's gonna be YouTube. First off, she would have shot me. But it would be so cool to just, say, hey, this is my job. Oh, we're so. So I'm impressed, and I don't know what word I'm looking for. I am impressed that he does that, and actually I think it's kind of cool. So I understand why he needs the subs and all that stuff. I get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. But this isn't my job. I'm retired. This is more or less something for me to do and help people. I mean, you can ask next time Cole's on Johnny's show. For those of you who don't know, Cole's my son. You can ask him. I've always wanted to help people. This is, even though it's guitar repair, maybe you guys, maybe I'm able to teach you guys something that saves you money in the long run, or short term for that matter. Thank you. I just, it's just, I just like to help. Oh man, right there. I can't get that little, afraid to take it down. Well, if I go down a little bit too low, I could always do another fret level and bring everything back to this. But hey, I told him, I said, this fret's going to be, it's going to look weird. It's going to look, even though when you held it up end to end, it was close in width, even though it was a little wider. I said, but once I put it on the fretboard, it's really going to look a lot wider than it is. I said, but it's the only frets I have right now. And most of mine are jumbos, because that's what I use on all my Jacksons and ESPs. So, but I told him, I said, I can make it work. You'll notice it. It'll look weird, but it'll play. And that's his main concern right there. As long as it plays, he didn't care. I said, actually, I have a 3-foot piece of gold fret material still, but that was a little bit too far of a reach. Which I think it's still right here. Oh, maybe it's not. Oh, it might not. No. think it's 3 foot anymore. No, it's not 3 foot anymore. It's 20. I get it out. There it is. This is what I put on my. It's tarnished now. It's sitting, but it's gold. And I put this on my my ESP George Lynch Bengal, the yellow and black one. I ended up took everything off that guitar and went gold everything. Gold tuners, gold pickup, gold bridge, gold frets. And this is I bought like 4 of these, and this is what I had left. So it would have been different to have a gold fret right there. We're good there. We're good there. So it's like, let me look at it. From there to there is what I need to take down. So I'll go back to this. Like I said, I wish you could buy just these individual, but you gotta buy the whole 3-piece set, and it's like $80. But if you do stuff like this, well worth it. Yes, they do, Greasy. Jumbo frets, unless you're in a punk band. If you're in a punk band and you're just sliding bar chords as fast as you can, then you want to go with low, small frets. Here where it's not hitting there. Alright, so let's do this again. Put some more on there. I'm gonna put that back in there. Yep. So I'm gonna cover the whole thing this time. And I'm gonna slide this way. Again, doesn't matter what direction with that, so. I've actually been working on this one fret for, well, probably since 1:30. So 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And I had enough frets to do a whole fret job, but again, I said I could do a whole fret job quicker than just this one. Because it's actually is a pain to, especially when you don't have the exact right size fret, trying to get it to work on something. Oh, we're getting there. Look at that. Greasy, again, I want to thank you for cutting me such a killer deal on that Jackson. And like I said, like I told you before, um, since my mother sold his Mustang, there was some stuff out there we didn't need. So I sold some of that stuff in order to pay for that. So in a way, that's the last guitar my dad had bought me. And that's how I'm looking at it, and that guitar is not going anywhere. And I thank you for that. Thank you so much for that, sir. Oh, again, thank you. Because I'll never be able to get another, unless I hit the lottery, I can't get another 87 M1 Custom. Because to get one in the shape mine was in, you're looking at $5,000 plus. I called ESP. Well, actually, my daughter called a couple years ago, and they told her it would be like $7,800 for a brand new one from them. So obviously that's out of the question. It was actually about this color. And here's what I found out. I joined an ESP club, and I posted pictures of it, and I got messages within, I don't know, less than a day. And this guy, all he said was, at first, he's like, "Hey, your yellow ESP, do you still have that? If you do, I'll buy it." And I wrote back and I said, "No, I don't have it. And even if I did, I wouldn't sell it. I only sold it then because I had to. I got laid off from International Harvester, and it was right before Christmas, so I sold it. So coal was 5, or going to be 5, and I sold that so we could, so Santa could give him a good Christmas." And he's like, "Oh, well, I thought maybe you still had it." He's like, "I'd offer you $10,000 for it." And I wrote back. Actually, I gave him my phone number. I said, "Call me." Here, this guy used to work in the '80s for ESP when I was on 48th Street in New York. And he told me that yellow that I had, they only made 20 of those in that particular color. And when I ordered that, I ordered a little wider neck because, big fingers. So he said that was one of one, and he would send me a cashier's check for $10,000 if I still had it. I'm like, "No, now you're gonna make me want to cry." But so I found some for $2,500, which I still can't afford right now anyhow. But they're pretty, the headstock's damaged on the end. They cracked, dents all over them. Mine was like just like all the other ones. Even though I use it for touring, and I played it exclusively with my Charvel 3DR Lava Crackle. Those were the two main ones. And the Lava Crackle ended up getting stolen off stage while we were on a break. And but everybody knew, my our bass player had written a song. It was a ballad, and he'd been, I think most bass players play guitar, and he wrote the ballad, so he also did the solo on the ballad. So when we would do that song, him and I would switch. He would take my ESP, and I would play bass on that song. And he even had a Velcro pad that he would put on the back real quick, so he didn't scratch the back of the guitar. So I mean, those guys, they knew. And then when we ended up getting the roadies, so close. When we ended up getting the roadies from the record company, they knew, hey, you don't throw these around, you don't scratch them, you don't do nothing. And we didn't have guitar. I was the guitar tech for the band, so I did mine. Dofka's, Duffy's, and the bass. Oh man. So yeah, it was. I sold it so Cole could have a nice Christmas from Santa that year. And now that I think about it, there were so many other things I could have sold, but I was panicking, and I knew, and I was the only one in this area from the whole Pittsburgh area that had an actual, well, they didn't have the LTDs then. I was the only one that had the ESP. I was the first one to get the Jackson in here, and I was the first one to have the ESP. And then Mike, our other guitar player, when I got that, ended up getting the Kamikaze, the Neon Kamikaze, brand new for $1,800. Now you can't touch them for under $5,000. And it was just, those guys knew, man. You just don't knock it over. You don't look at it. You don't touch it. It was a Nigel type thing. So even though they were played, that was played from late '87 to 90. I sold it December of '92. So 4 or 5 years, and that thing never had a mark on it. I just took care of it. So my other guitar that was a holy grail was the Mirrored Soloist, and thanks to Greasy, he made that possible. So for that, Greasy, I am thankful for everything. The speaker, the parts, the guitars, you name it. Just right in the center. You know what? Let me do this. Well, like I said, and the fact that the money for it came from some of my dad's stuff that, we couldn't use anymore, just even makes it that much more special. So. Oh, wait, let me do this one. We're so close. Well, when they gave us, well, see, we were lucky. We were lucky and unlucky. We didn't do a showcase and all that stuff. To we just happened to open for a national act one night that they were here locally, and whoever was supposed to open for them couldn't make it. So the venue owner know, knows us and knew me really well. So I get a phone call and said, "Hey, I got Grim Jack going to be here," and they had been in Circus Magazine and all that stuff in the late '80s, mid late '80s. He's like, "Their opening act's not showing up. Can you guys do it?" And I'm like, I didn't even ask. Yeah, okay. And he's like, can you have it done, be here and ready in an hour? He's like, you guys can use their equipment. Like, oh, well, so we grabbed our guitars and went over, and I don't know what they were used to as far as you know bands opening. Hey, we want this, or we're not going to do whatever. We didn't do any of that. We were just like, hey, we're here. Thank you guys for letting us do this. Thanks for the opportunity. Blah blah blah. And we did that 45 minutes or 50 minutes, and then we were done while they were getting what little stuff we had off the stage. They're like, hey, you guys want to do some more shows with us? I'm like, sure. So we ended up actually going on the road with them, and then it grew from there. And then the record company's like, hey, now granted it wasn't no big deal. We weren't millionaires. We didn't become millionaires. But they did supply a bus, not a van, an actual bus, and roadies. And they were going to, get a tech. I said, no, I handle the guitar tech stuff. So that's how that all came about. I mean, it just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And, whatever happened, and it turned out from there. Oh, just a hair more right there. So yeah, it lucked out, if that's what you want to call it. But because we didn't give them any attitude, and I mean, we were actually truly grateful for the chance. They apparently, because they were from New York, literally New York City. So apparently, every band that worked with them up there, had that New York attitude. So, not being a jerk paid off, I guess. So that was the lucky part. Then we go and we did a self-release on our own prior to that, and we'd given it to them, and they turned it in. So then we got our first full release, which was Sin City X2000 Productions, and it was we were like, I even got a thing from Gemini saying, we were from the Wheeling area, and a lot of people dug our music, and if you liked Metallica mixed with Slayer, mixed with Dokken, then you would have liked us. And then the worst thing that could ever happen to us is Nirvana came out, and we all got dropped. So that's what happened there. So that's why I said we were lucky and unlucky. We were like right on the verge of getting to be. I mean, we were in a magazine, and on the opposite page was a whole article on Lita Ford. So it's not like we were buried in the back. We opened for. Anybody remember the Fabulous Thunderbirds? That what was that? Ain't That Tough? And which was actually from the movie I was in, Gung Ho. So it fell apart just as quickly as it happened. Sadly, but I thank God that I am still friends with everyone. Well, our very first original drummer, who recorded. Well, actually, we did two releases. One was a two song EP, and then one was 6 or 7 song. And he was on the 2-song EP, the very first one from 1987. He died a couple years ago at 52 years old, 53. Had a massive stroke, I guess. And the funny part is about a month before that happened, he had sent me an email saying, "Hey, we need to jam again." And I told him, "Yeah, sure. Next time you're in town, let me know." Then I didn't hear from him, and then like a month later, he died. So he's gone, but everybody else that was ever in the band is still alive. And so these guys are greatly willing to do all this new recording with me. And not only the guys that were in the band that played in the band with me, but bands that played with us. Either we open for them or they open for us. All those guys, they're all because they know I'm not doing it for money or trying to make money or trying to quote get the band back together. I just wanted to. When I had my stroke, I actually had 2 strokes. Second one was really nothing. The first one had me in the hospital for a month. And then I realized, and I've said this on Johnny's show many times, I realized, it sucks because everything here, these tools, the guitars, the 18 stat, all that stuff, can be sold and it's gone. But if I do music and do music with people who I've had the pleasure to share the stage with, 40 plus years ago, and then my son and my son-in-law, that's something that's going to be here long after I'm gone. And it was like, well, we'll record it and we'll put it out on Spotify and all that stuff. And it's a gentleman's agreement, handshake, because that's how we operate. If any song, and they're not going to make it. We get 99 cents a song, so and you only get so many cents of that. But the deal was, whoever's on that particular song, whichever song it is, if it's 4 guys or 5 guys playing it, or me doing everything with just a singer and someone else, however many guys are on that actual recording, whatever money's made will be split however many guys are on it. That was the deal. And no one's expecting any big money. We're not gonna get that. But it's nice to, when they realized I wanted to do it, so there was something always out there, they were more than happy to jump on the bandwagon. And so I always have people coming in here carrying guitars, and we're recording something. This is actually live, Lewis. Unscheduled, unplanned, and the reason being is because when I worked on this last night, my biggest fear came true. That one fret was really too bad, and once I put the strings on it, I couldn't get it to get. It was buzzing like crazy, and the second and third fret was the same note. So I knew I had to change the fret, but I didn't have the same size fret. So that's when I decided, you know what, this is something you don't see all the time, so let's just go live with it. So that's why it's happening. It's not, it wasn't planned or anything like that. It just happened to be the situation. So what I did is took a fret that's a little bit wider and was a lot taller, and I'm going to make it work. And I thought, why not just go live? And it's another video for the channel, and I like all you guys hanging out and talking. Nope. This is, what was it? Is this live or Memorex? It's live. We are not Memorex. So it just happened, to be the perfect opportunity to. And I told him it's going to look weird, but he's like, I don't care as long as it plays. The whole guitar actually needs a whole fret job. So what's probably going to happen is after he gets this and plays it for a while, he's going to say, just go ahead and do all of them. So I'll even have to replace that one again, because now that I got this one down to these and I'm going to put taller ones on, I'd have to do the whole thing. So it'd be easier just to do all of them together. But this is a fix that will get him playing. And it's not very few people will put a wrong size fret in. And the only reason I did it is because that's all I had to do it with, and he didn't want to wait. Because normally I would say, hey, I have these frets here, we're going to do all of them. But he, so that's what we ended up with. So I know I was running telling my stories. So anybody got any questions? Yeah, that's going to look twice as big. But as long as it works. Alex. Same one. I had to change out one fret with a different fret, different size, and I'm trying to make it work. So it's going to look stupid, but hopefully it works just fine. I'm hoping. Yeah, I literally could have changed all of them in the amount of time it took me to do just this one. So there. So this little set, if you do work like this, This little set from Music Nomad is freaking awesome. You can't buy the individual, the three, or one of any of the three. You got to buy the whole kit. And I think it's $79 or something like that. But that, you saw how it worked. You know, you got the abrasive, the diamond right here, flat, smooth here, so you can go over and you're only messing with just the one fret, three different sizes. And it's designed actually to go under the strings, so you don't have to take the strings off. But so, and again, it's I think it's $79 for the set. Well worth it if you do this type of work. Most normal guitar maintenance isn't going to require that. Most of it. But hey, what do I know? So yeah, I took that down as low as it could go, and man, that's just that dent is just like right there. I thought, man, I cannot take these frets down anymore. So let me wipe this mat off. Matt, I'm using the purple one. Had to put a little bit of that water glue on that fret, and it's come out of the bottle and got my new mat. Like, man, oh well. That's why they're here. Although I can't complain, I got two more from D'Addario. And I know people say D'Addario. But here's how I look at it. Let me see if I got. Okay. D apostrophe capital S. So that would be D'Addario. So that's what I call it. D'Addario. Oh, clean workbench. Man, I wish I could have done all the frets. I mean, that might not bug him, but it's going to bug me. Like, it looks twice as wide. And it's technically, really, it's not. It's wider, yes, but not that wide. But it just looks a lot bigger. It's kind of like an optical illusion. So I say, D'Addario. Yes, Matt, I am Italian. My family tree has the Mancinis, Silveri, Cassiano. So it's only fitting that I get to be in the Guitar Mafia. So now I have to little sanding right there. But I could use. You know, I'll use this. Oh, for those of you who maybe, if, you know, in Johnny's chat a lot is Chris King from Down Under. And Chris is a great guy. And he texted me yesterday, said he had to go to the vets to take his dog to the vet. And it didn't look good. And the dog was 17 years old. It was his, he's had it for 17 years. And then later that night I saw where he posted it, that it passed away. So, for those of you who know Chris, put some positive vibes his way. I'm sure he could use them, and anybody who's ever had a pet knows. Especially if one for 17 years. Billy, be safe out there. It's going to be a weird night. You're going to have Jason running around and probably Freddie. So. Oh. And make sure you wear your bulletproof vest, brother. Bunch of crazies out there. Unfortunately. This tape off. I know my all the cats and dogs I've had them since I was a little kid. You know, they're not just something in the house. To me, they're part of the family. And sadly, I know what Chris is going through. And it's never easy. He posted that on Facebook last night. Sucks that they're only with us for a short time. I'm peeling the tape off this, guys. So. Yeah, this was a unplanned show, and I am surprised that it so many of you turned out. I appreciate that. Thank you. Man, I guess I put a lot of tape on there. So I need to put more. Be good, Billy. There's a piece of blue tape under this one. Yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, especially in well, the middle of the afternoon. It was here when I started. This this guitar community, you know, I wish, well, there's no need for competition or hatred between channels. And I don't care for the channels that do that, participate in that kind of stuff. I don't think it's right. You know, but again, that's just my opinion. And there's room. I mean, this is worldwide. There's billions of people on this earth. There's room for every channel. No one can corner just one thing and claim it as theirs. So, but that's just me saying that. And who am I? But yeah, there's no need for the fighting and bickering and all that stuff in between channels. We're trying to sabotage somebody. And I don't just, you know, I don't mean the channels I'm affiliated with. It's any channel. No need for that anywhere. So anyhow, for this guitar, for doing this, I get a Kramer Beretta Special that will get a custom paint job and probably end up some kid's hand or veteran or somebody who needs the. I had a Epiphone Dot series, like a 335. Granted, it was, you know, $500 guitar or whatever. But this one, I didn't buy it new. I bought it used. But this one was kind of neat because the fret markers on it, instead of the dots, it had crosses, church cross, like, you know. And I bought it and I was like, well, long story short, I end up running into a guy who, string of bad luck, lost everything, and then he had suddenly found he was saved, got saved, and he played guitar, but didn't have one and hadn't had one in a while, and he wanted to play guitar in the church band, and it just felt right to give him, quote, the church guitar. And to this day, he's still playing it. And his life turned around. He got a job, everything. So, just never know who's coming into your life. Most people don't stay forever, but I like to think that when people enter, I mean, I understand you can't make everybody happy. I do understand that, but um, I'm tired of conflict. I used to be okay with conflict and violence when I was younger. Not anymore. It's unnecessary. It's not needed. You know, I don't want to say can't everybody get along because that's so cliche. But for lack of a better term, can't everybody get along? So yeah, but sometimes maybe I was just the Italian household. Maybe I was just raised a little bit differently. Who knows? Respect is a big respect. The biggest thing in the Italian household are respect and loyalty. Don't take my word for it. Ask any true-blooded Italian; they'll tell you. With me, what you see is what you get. You cross me, then we're done. That's it. There's no. Although my grandfather argued, he always said you always give someone a second chance. And I used to do that, and then half the time they took advantage of that. So I got to the point where I did get a little cynical, and you got one shot. You blow it, that's it. We're done. No big thing. We're just done. And I know it was old school Italian thing, but it was like when you were done with someone. This is what I'm saying. My family's from right outside of Rome and Sicily. So the Sicilian part of the family is that happened to them. If that happened, they would write whoever it was. They write their name down, crumble it up, and either burn it or throw it away, and that person is out of your life from that point on. I know that's kind of silly, but that was the old tradition. So I used to have a shirt that said, "I'm okay with the violence." It didn't matter to me then. Not to mention that weightlifter, football player, boxer, never did martial arts though. Moment of truth. Still right there. Let me tune it up. Yeah. I used to wear that all the time, so I'm okay with the violence, so think before you act. I thought that was always a good thing. plus for 20 25 years. I've been a firearms instructor. Even went and taught military, handgun and shotgun. My wife shoots. As long as she don't shoot me, we're good. So I'm just tired of the arguments. I'm tired of the arguments. Tired of the unnecessary violence. But like I said, if I need to, I know what to do. Do I want to? No. Will I protect my family with my life? Yes. And friends. Why is that? So, I sit and I look at all this, and it's like all the bickering and stuff on YouTube over channels. That's stupid. That you got more. There's more important things to do in life instead of sit here and make fun of somebody or quote call them out on something. I look at it this way: if you don't like the channel, you don't have to watch it. It's that simple. There are people who do like it. And so I'm just, that's what I told Johnny. I said, he keeps saying that I'll get mad and leave the show and stab him in the back like all his other co-hosts did. And I'm like, first off, no, I don't do that kind of stuff. And two, why would I? I don't understand why his other co-hosts do that to him. I don't understand. But hey, I'll take these off. I think it's for them to do that to him, and to make all the fake Johnny Bean accounts and go around and try just to destroy the man's livelihood. That's just a bunch of crap. I told Johnny, I said, I'm on your show till you tell me I'm not. And it's that simple. I got no reason to do anything else. I'm going to be 61. It doesn't do me any good to sit there and create a fake Johnny Bean account and then go around and try to trash him. That's just stupid. saying? Childish. But hey, you know, some people like that. That's fine if that's what you want to do. And you know, so dang it, doing it again. Why is this? There's no reason for that to be happening. I'm just gonna have to call him time. I'm gonna do the whole all the frets. Yeah, Greasy, I understand that it's but it's childish, man. I mean, I don't grow up. Be an adult. If you don't like, I mean, I'm just saying Johnny because we all know him, you know, and I'm on the show. So and he's made very clear, you know, what has happened to him. So let's just say, why do it? What good does it actually do? I mean, now you're actually trying to mess with the guy's livelihood. And like I said, I respect him for having the courage to do this for a job, you know. So, what kind of person are you that you want to go out and kind of destroy that? That to me, that's crazy. And you shouldn't want to do that. But the whole thing is, I don't know why they do it. I mean, I don't know what, you know. Yeah, Johnny's made fun of me at times and stuff like that, but oh, big deal. It's joking. It's having fun. So what could he have possibly have done to them that make them, you know, all these years later, still try to hurt the guy? That get in there. That's what blows my mind. Why is that? There's no way that should be. There we go. I mean, you know, what do you do? Come and beat up their wife or something? Why would you? I don't know. I don't get it. Oh, there we go. Well, tune it. We got it. Now I need to tune it again. I hate new strings on an acoustic. Yeah, so I don't understand why someone would want to do that. Okay, maybe you think it's funny, that's fine. But all these years later, there we go. So you can tell it's a little bit bigger, that second fret, but it works. So it can be done. Don't let people tell you. Wait, how'd that go? Shoot, I forget how it goes. I forget. Been a long time since I played that. So, there we go. Dang, I can't do that anymore either. Alright, so we're good. So replace the fret with the wrong size one, but got it working. Cleaned the guitar. Tightened the tuners everywhere. They were completely loose. Got the burrs out of the nut. Took a little bit off the bridge, in the back of the bridge. And then scrubbed the grime off this thing. So I can't even I forget. Been a while. Nope. Been a while since I did play that. Yeah, Greasy, if he wants it if he wants me to do the whole thing, that's what I'm gonna put on it. See. Wow, been forever. How the heck does that go? Nope. I forget how it goes. right, so anyhow, we're done. Wow, something just fell upstairs. Let's see. It's been so long, and here's what, docking fan. Pinch harmonics. All right, so I think we're good. That's from a band we opened up for called Child's Play. They had a song called Wind, and it's an anti-love song. It's like, so anyhow, all right. So we're good to go. So with that, everybody, thank you all so much for hanging out. I know this has been a long show and unpromoted earlier. So with that being said, thank you so much. And hey, RJ. RJ, what I did here was put a different size fret because I didn't have the right size fret in here and made it work. So he can pick it up at, well, I told him initially 6 o'clock, but yesterday, that was before I had to do this. I guess I'll have to text him. So with that, my wife just sent me a text. Now I do feel like Johnny. She's telling me dinner's ready. So, all right, we got it all done. It's working. I had to replace the second fret. RJ. What's the heck? Oh, Allen wrench. So it's good to go. It's all working. So with that, everybody, let me switch mics and camera here real quick. With that, everybody, let me. I didn't even have the other camera on. I just started straight from the bench. I think. Okay. All right. So with that, everybody, thank you for hanging out. RJ, you can scroll back if you want to. And thank you again so much for everything. And I truly do. Oh, last night I was explaining about the, real quick before I go, about that printer screwing up. So these are the inserts for the fret polisher. And like I said, it would print the whole thing perfect and get to the end and screw up the end. That's not correct. That should be all level. Oh, come on, focus. So it's done this out of the blue. So I got to get that taken care of. Mad, thank you. RJ? Oh, okay, cool. Thank you very much. Everybody. Greasy, Billy, you name it. Everybody's been in here. I appreciate it. I appreciate it completely. Mr. Mick, everybody, MPN, you name it. Alex. So with all that, I'll see you. Hopefully I see you tonight on Johnny's show. And I'll be back here Monday, either 9 or 10. I haven't decided because I want to pick a regular time to do them on Mondays, either 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. I'm going to probably say 9. That give Mad Hatter a little extra time. So. All right, with that, everybody, thank you so much. And everybody who has donated and who is donating, thank you for letting me be able to keep a good cause going. And again, who knows? We may be helping the next Eddie Van Halen or Randy Rhoads or Dimebag or Chet Atkins. We don't know. So we'll find out only in time. Good on, everybody. See you tonight.